I almost quit playing this game. Evil Tonight actually released in 2021, but I recently just played it because I was looking for games to play on the Switch too. It's a survival horror game that leans real heavily into classic Resident Evil, except it puts a 16-bit pixel art veneer on it. When I say this game leans into classic Resident Evil, I mean that it leans into some of the game designs. In this game, you play as Sylvia. She's a medium. She has the power to kind of go into another realm and then freeze spirits so that they leave this earthly plane, and you're gonna get that story exposition at the start of this game. Once that's complete and you start playing the game, you're gonna end up in this school, kind of reminiscent of a mansion in Resident Evil, and it's just gonna be filled with rooms and hallways. When you're going through this school, you're gonna be picking up keys like you would in a Resident Evil game that can unlock doors, and you're just gonna find different kinds of keys that can open different kind of doors. This game seems like it thought about some quality of life things. So when you try to open a locked door, that door will show you what key that it needs to be unlocked. Then anytime you walk up to that door while it's locked, a little icon will pop up showing you what key exactly that you need to unlock it. Now, this is where the game design starts to devolve a bit. There is no map in Evil Tonight, which is the #1 flaw that this game has in my eyes. You're essentially let loose in this giant puzzle, and there's a lot of rooms and a lot of hallways. In classic Resident Evil style, you're gonna have to solve puzzles that are kind of geospatially separate from each other. So you're gonna pick up an item in one area of this school, you're gonna have to go to a different area to try to then use them to unlock something that may be in another different part of this school. And the lack of a map means the more doors that you start unlocking, the more you're gonna have to backtrack and try to figure out where you need to use items. At one point, I found myself literally having to go back and check every single room that I had been in, trying to find one room that had boarded up door, for instance. And I remember seeing this boarded up door, and I just couldn't remember what room this boarded up door was in. And if there was a map, maybe you could have seen that there was a room with 2 doors in it that would have made navigating to that room so much easier. Since we're already kind of talking about cons, I'm just going to name the other big con that I have with this game. There's 4 difficulty modes in this game. Only the first 3 are available to you at the start of this game. Now, when you start up this game, the default difficulty is balanced mode. When you start the game in balanced mode, the game is very generous with healing items and kind of gets you into the idea that there's kind of a progression. You deal with a hard room. At the end of the hard room, you get maybe a new weapon, some ammo, and then a healing item or 2. At some point in this game, the game just stops giving you healing items. I'll say they disappear for the most part. There was like 3 healing items that I got after like 2/3 of the way into this game. And if you have been using the same save throughout your playthrough of this game, you will find yourself absolutely screwed and in a position where you potentially soft lock the game because you just can't make progress, because you just keep getting killed, because you have no healing items. Those are the 2 biggest issues that I had with this game, and apparently other people in the community had with this game. Doesn't seem like the devs are going to address those 2 points based on what I saw in the Steam discussions and the fact that this game is 4 years old and those problems are still in this game. At this point, it's baked into the game. You either take it or you leave it. All in all, after playing through this game one time, I still overall enjoyed the experience. And now we'll talk about why. 16-bit survival horror Resident Evil style game is just cool. No matter what, the concept of this is just really cool, even if the execution isn't that great. I love the visual look of this game. The pixel art looks amazing. There's this 80s style anime to the avatars whenever the characters are talking that I really like, and I kind of wish that look would come back. I find that the atmosphere is really good. The school that you're walking around, the lighting inside of the school, within pixel art especially, like the lighting is just really good. The fact that this is survival horror in pixel art and everything looks as cohesive as it does, and it still sets this kind of horror mood, is astounding to me, and I love it. The sound effects in this game do a really good job of kind of building that environment and atmosphere of you being in a horror game, and the music is good during the boss fights. I'd say it's forgettable everywhere else, but very good during boss fights. And another thing I didn't really expect from this game, but like some of the enemies that you encounter in this game have shmup like bullet patterns, which I was like, I mean, survival horror, pixel art, and now you're throwing a shmup in this thing? Like, okay, you're speaking directly to my heart. I'm here for this. And again, the story in this game isn't a cookie cutter story, which I'm always here for a story that you can't just outright guess. Now, who is this game for? This game, I believe, is for those who grew up in the 90s and early 2000s and played games when games did not care about accessibility or quality of life. If you're able to look past some of these big issues, like I mentioned with the lack of a map and then the unbalanced, ironically named balance mode, I think you can find a good experience in this game. I personally will not be playing this game a second time, but I do enjoy most of my first playthrough of this game, and maybe some point in the future I'll come back and play this game again. This game is a $15 game normally on Steam and I think on a Nintendo eShop. I personally think that for a 4-year-old game and for the issues that this game has, $15 is definitely asking for too much money. It does go on sale. I ended up buying it on sale. I got it for 10 USD, 10 US dollars. All in all, I would say again, I enjoyed the first experience that I had with this game, but I'm not itching to jump back into it. All right, I am out in these streets looking for kind of obscure games that aren't getting a lot of love, and then trying to give them a chance and then try to throw them out there to see if other people are interested in these games. If this sounds like something you're interested in, be sure to follow the channel and follow some of the reviews I have coming up. I was looking at my Steam wish list and my Switch wish list, and there's a lot of interesting games coming up that I'm really kind of hyped to play. So I'll definitely have some more reviews coming in the future. Be on the lookout for that. And until the next time, stay hydrated, stay awesome out there, and deuces.